My name is Jyoti. You can call me Jyoti ma'am. And we're going to start our course in English, right? So when we open your English textbook, when you read your English textbook, you're just not reading stories and poems and grammar and vocabulary. You are actually learning to speak better, read better, write better, and listen better. While listening to me, you are listening to the way I speak, you're listening to my English, and you want to speak the way I do. You listen to any teacher. So listening, speaking, reading, writing are very important skills that you are learning when you learn a language, right? So let's start. I'm going to start the first lesson. I would like you all to open your textbooks. I'm just looking into the screen and checking the computer. I'm going to start showing you the first lesson. But before I do that, please open your first lesson. I think it is on page 7. It's on page 7. And this is the lesson. So what is the name of the story that you are going to read today? The Little Folks' Presents. What do you mean by presents? You know what a present is, right? You receive presents maybe on your birthday. Do you know another word for presents? What is another word for present? You get a present or you also get a gift. Yes, so presents is another word for gifts. The little folks. Who are folks? What are folks? Folks mean people, right? So this is a folk tale. It's a folk tale. It's a tale about people. You've heard of fairy tales, you've heard of folk tales, you have heard of fables. Have you all heard the story of the Fox and the Grapes, the Clever Crow? All these are stories of Aesop. The Aesop stories you have read in your lower classes. This is a folk tale. This is written by two brothers called Grimm brothers. This is also stories written by them. So we are going to read about little folk. Little folk means small people, not short people. Little folks as in dwarfs. Have you seen dwarfs? Have you seen pictures of Snow White and the dwarfs? Right? They're not short, but they are little. That's how they are, right? All right. So we're going to read the story about the little folks' presents. So let's look at the warm-up activity. Look at the covers. Let's read the names of the stories. So you have a list of fairy tales here on the left. Let's see if you know them. Cinderella. Have you heard of the story of Cinderella? Don't say Cinderella. It's not Cinderella. There's an E there. So you read it as Cinderella. Cinderella. The second one, Hansel and Gretel. Hansel and Gretel, they are German names because I told you all these stories were written by two brothers, German brothers. The Germans would read the name as Hansel, not Hansel and Gretel, Hansel and Gretel. The third story is Red Riding Hood. Of course you know the story of Red Riding Hood. The fourth story is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And the fifth one is Rapunzel. So look at the pictures on the right. You need to match the title of the story to the picture. I'm sure you can do it. Let's look at the first one. Out of the pictures on the right, A, B, C, D, E, which do you think is the answer? Cinderella, which do you think is the picture that you associate with Cinderella? Yes, you're right. It's D. It's D. Right? So there is Cinderella getting ready for the ball. Fairy godmother has changed her clothes and she's looking beautiful, ready to go to the ball. The last one, of course, you all know is Red Riding Hood. All right, so now let us read the story. There's a brief note there on top. I told you about the Grimm brothers. These are the Grimm brothers. They wrote these stories many years back. You can read that note. Your teacher will read that note out to you later.